Well, holy smokers, it ain't no jokers, guys. We gotta get down to this one immediately because we got a whole lot of these alien bozos, these UFO twats that we gotta talk about. Hide your kids, hide your wives for this one. Like the video if you love your mama. Like the video if you love God. Check this. Roll it.
Video that was recorded by an airplane passenger in the UK. His attention was caught by a glint in the air, and then the miracles began. The cigar in the sky began to change positions so quickly as if it was not flying, but teleporting. Try to explain.
Yeah, there was like a little bit of that effect, like blur effect, as though it was twitching. It was like going, but is that real? It's hard to believe it, right?
Up close, the object appears transparent, but as it moves, we see a cylinder. How is this even possible?
Yeah.
I'd like to hear a word or two about this from official.
This seems similar to, you know, Commander Fravor. He went over on Joe Rogan podcast. You probably are aware of what who I'm talking about, right? Because that story was literally all over the place. So it reminds me of that Hungarian pipe.
UFO yet. After many reports of a similar flying object, one patient searcher finally managed to capture it. Just look at how it is arranged. Now we can debunk the idea of hoaxes. Such objects have appeared many times in different parts of the planet. The cylinder stayed in front of the camera for a few minutes and began to descend vertically. The video cuts off at the most interesting point, but we've already got enough evidence, haven't we? 10 years ago, someone uploaded a video of a mysterious cylindrical object in the Ukrainian town of Korostin. The street.
Yeah, if you're like an alien, right? Like, how are you gonna sit inside that? Is it like super far away, that's why it appears this thin? Or is it this thin?
Appeared in the sky in front of numerous witnesses, but only one person managed to make a quality video. Some speculated that it could have been a small airplane with a banner, but the object seemed solid and did not streak in the wind. Not much can be said about its true shape based on this footage. Any disc flying parallel to the horizon visually appears to be a flat strip.
Thank you for the red arrow. Because of it, I wouldn't be able to see it, you know? Thank you.
Before us is a terrifying video of yet another cigar UFO. It meticulously explores a Russian factory. The object looks like a well-developed military aviation, but it's not so easy for a foreign spy to sneak into Russian territory. It is quite reasonable to assume that the alien ship managed to do so.
Oh, damn.
And if you look...
Yeah, now you see a little bit of the texture too, so it doesn't seem like a round cylindrical object. It feels like that it had like some other stuff around it too, like some bumps in the road kind of, right?
Closely, you can see that its configuration seems to be divided into compartments. The eyewitnesses are also nervous. It's the first time they've seen such a device above the factory, and it's frightening. Especially its lightning-fast disappearance.
And you know, it also reminds me of cases that we heard where UFOs were seen around nuclear bases and they were disabling their nukes. So it's crazy situations.
The most active volcano in Mexico.
That are really baffling.
With the unpronounceable Indian. The most active volcano in Mexico with the unpronounceable Indian name of Popocatépetl has always been under close observation, and thanks to this, cameras recorded an amazing event. A white cylindrical object headed straight towards the volcano and ended up diving into its vent.
Damn.
This happened in the year 2020, while most citizens were...
Okay, if AI is having trouble saying names and 20,020, then we're doomed.
Were sitting at home unable to witness the amazing phenomena. It wasn't even the UFO's journey to Mexico that is of great curiosity, but its plunge into the blazing lava. The most courageous enthusiasts declared that it was an attempt by the USA to cause a volcanic eruption.
Holy.
But then, what is the object and how was it controlled?
I feel like that the aliens were like, hey, we need some fire to be able to cook food, so let's go to the lava, let's get some active volcano, and then we can bring it to our planet and we're gonna be able to cook food. Probably that.
I don't have any theories. Maybe you can give me a clue. We're going to end this issue with some quite mundane stories, so that we don't remain captive to illusions. This episode is also filmed by an airplane passenger, but this time we observe an interesting effect. It seems that the airplane we see from the window is not moving, but frozen in the air. Have you ever experienced something like this?
Never.
This phenomenon is called the parallax effect. When objects are moving at different speeds, the visual motion of one of them.
Have you guys actually experienced something like that? We have seen so many videos and this is still like baffling and unexplainable, at least from my perspective. If you see like a chopper, a helicopter, where you see the propeller, the wings not like rotating, well, that's explainable because of the camera and the FPS and the shutter speeds, the ISO, and you know, technical stuff like that. Makes sense, right? That part makes sense, where you would see perhaps like a chopper floating without its wings moving. It's just that the speed and the ISO, I believe the shutter matches up perfectly. That's why it feels like that it's not moving. But for a plane to be staying still like that, I don't know, man.
Is not captured. In this case, the other airplane was quite close, so there was an illusion of its hovering. Sometimes the effect of deception of perception occurs when it seems to you that not a train is moving, but a platform. So don't believe your eyes. Physics sometimes jokes with us. But
no, I'm gonna believe my eyes, bruh. I'm gonna believe my eyes, bro.
UFOs fly according to other principles, and these laws we have not studied yet.
Believe your eyes, fellas.
Let's get back to the most sensational story in aviation.
No!
Everyone remembers the infamous Malaysia Airlines Flight 370, a Malaysia Airlines Boeing that traveled from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing in 2014, but disappeared without a trace. A decade later, its mystery is...
Yeah, no, I don't believe the story. I think it's gonna get into the realm of the plane was abducted by the aliens, the UFOs. You might have heard the story, you might have not. This is like... But, yeah, that's the thing though. It's a decade-old story where a plane went missing, and then a decade later, videos like this surface. Something is off, man.
Still unsolved. Insurance sums have not been paid, and the search has met with dubious success. However, there is evidence that during his flight, he encountered a bunch of flying balloons that swarmed around him like bees.
No, it's,
Judging by this video,
disappears.
The hypothesis looks like this.
They did find debris, if I'm not mistaken, like a part of the wing from it later on, right? I believe around like the Mauritius Island, somewhere around there.
Plane continues to fly as if unaware of its fate, and at one point, suddenly, there is a semblance of an explosion. The plane disappears into a cloud. Many have expressed this opinion that it was abducted by aliens, and although the opinion is absurd, definitely, the theory is scary. Do you believe in this possibility? That someone could have stolen an entire...
What are your thoughts? One, in the comments if you think it was abducted by aliens. Even if you believe that, hey, you got your reasons, right? So I'm not laughing at that. But two, if you don't believe it. I personally don't believe it. It's very bizarre and weird.
Entire flight from the sky? In 2008, citizens of Turkey captured a giant UFO flying overhead. Someone even managed to zoom in on the image and make this story for us.
This one is
that this
crazy.
Is definitely a UFO, I will not assure you, because there is no doubt. In most cases, UFO sightings are blurry, but here we can easily distinguish the hull, and with a little
It's still blurry, bro. What are we talking about? But this one is an amazing piece of footage because at one point you see you're already seeing something sitting inside chilling, right? And this is, I believe they try to conduct studies, or not necessarily studies, but they try to prove that the video was fake, or they basically made sure the video was not fake, right? So they ran tests on the video to make sure it's not like CGI, and apparently they don't know whether it's real or fake. They did not find any evidence of this video being fake. So in other words, it might be real, might be, keyword is might be.
Magnification, even peek into the lighted interior. Although we can't tell what's inside, it really is beautiful. We can fantasize about who is in there and what the interior of a perfect ship looks like.
That is hella crazy. There was a better video available, I feel like, on that one, where you saw somebody like sitting inside. You saw at least the head and the eyes, kinda, but still was blurry.
I don't know who could have expected an entire fleet of UFOs to fly over his head. This happened just a few weeks ago in Florida, and naturally, it scared a lot of people. Although many did not believe in the reality of this video, wrote that someone applied computer graphics.
Yeah,
but it's natural to doubt the unbelievable. One thing puzzled me. If this really happened, wouldn't it have made the world news? It's not every day you see a flotilla of alien ships flying by so beautifully at sunset. It's not easy to scare
I doubt that clip.
Russians, but this strange object seems to have managed to put a group of people in a stupor. At first they saw an incomprehensible structure hanging from the sky, from which soon smoke began to come out, and the shape began to change. The mysterious object opened its arms and began to expand. People thought that the UFO was trying to signal other ships in the area in this way. Maybe it was shot down.
Wasn't this like Elon Musk's Starship or StarX or SpaceX, right?
I don't know what it is, but perhaps you have a theory.
But I guess SpaceX would be going upwards like we saw all the way back a couple of years ago in Los Angeles, right? This one is coming downward.
Now, isn't that the most perfect UFO you've ever seen? It glides over the clouds as if it were an everyday occurrence. The people in the airplane flying by were frozen with terror. Whoever captured the video must have been shocked himself. If you include elementary logic, you will agree. Here, we see not an airship, and certainly not a balloon. The shape of this object...
When you hear your girl is all alone, you're like, okay, I'm coming, honey, I'm coming. So yeah, that's what's going on.
...reminds us of a double cone or a typical image of alien ships. We can only thank the passenger who did not lose his senses, but recorded for us the proof of daytime flights of UFOs on air routes. Maybe they have their own flight schedules too?
Maybe he heard that the honey's alone, so I'm coming.
Passengers aboard a flight from Denver noticed a strange object that looked like a sheet of plastic. It was floating parallel to the plane's movement, and if you think that's what garbage might look like, you're wrong. At an altitude of 10,000 meters, plywood doesn't fly, much less move at the speed of an airplane. Another surprising thing is that in a few seconds...
Yeah, right, like if junk and garbage was flying 10,000 feet or high up in the sky like that, then there would be, clearly we would have problems with the flying, right? With aviation and planes, right? Like of collision and all that crap, right?
The object changed its shape. It seemed to be completely flat. Maybe the leaf was following the air trail of another airplane, carried away by the powerful flow of the air tail. But then,
feet?
I don't understand how the transformation works. This shape-shifting trick. What do you think of it? More and more pilots are sharing stories of strange objects they encounter in the sky during their flights and capturing them on video.
The motherboard.
Here's another amazing story. Before you ask how it was filmed, I will say, the camera was mounted on the fuselage. The UFO acted as if it was also inspecting the airplane.
Crazy.
Which explains its constant presence in the frame. But if you remember,
videos like these are just so good to be true. It's very hard to believe these clips. Like some of the clips I feel like are legit, and I've seen like one or two before. But like clips like that, man, like what are the odds you're gonna see something like that? I mean, we heard this, that pilots do see a lot of weird activity. And back in the days, you would hear that they were not allowed to speak, but now apparently they are told to report, is what we heard, at least, like, you know, through coming out through the Congress, whenever they, and yeah, like, where is that Congress meeting? When is that Congress meeting happening about the aliens and the UFO? You know, there was a guy that came out, right? I'm forgetting his name right now, but he was having Congress meetings, and they were talking about he's gonna show images, evidence off Congress, basically behind, like off stream, not during the live stream. He's gonna show to the senators behind the scenes, and yeah, nothing really came out of that.
Remember that both objects were in flight at a tremendous speed. It's not like they were hanging in the sky. Then imagine that the UFO had to drive the airplane like a fighter jet.
Deuces.
Suddenly, the scene is interrupted by some interference. It is unclear what appeared in the sky, but it looks like a trickery on the part of the UFO. It's as if it's used a distraction.
It's such a good clip, and I hate the idea of, hey man, why can't we get better clips? And when we get better clips, it's like we don't believe it, man. It's a real thing, man. Whenever a video is blurry, people are like, hey, in 2024, right? Or maybe you're watching this in 2050. In 2050, we have better cameras. How is it like always blurry videos? And you're not wrong, man. We are not wrong. But whenever we have good clips where they look like this, it's like, it's super hard to believe it, man. Especially in the day and age of AI. And we're watching a video with AI narration, man. Like, come on, man. Like, bumbleclad right there, bro.
Like a squid throwing out an ink cloud to make a quick getaway.
It's been narrated by AI, but the videos are probably not AI. Maybe this one is.
There's a legend that there's some sort of mothership, a huge alien station. But has anyone seen it in real life?
Nope.
Look at what the helicopter crew managed to capture in the night sky. No matter how you look at it, it's clear that this ship is not of our making.
Something
Again,
is moving a plane,
the thought
maybe?
of an airship.
That gotta be a plane, right? You got this one, and this one you see illuminating light, so it seems like maybe this is possibly real footage. Just because the light, I suppose this is how the lights would be in the sky, right? It's not just gonna be like a PNG, it would be illuminating.
Arose, but the speed at which this luminous object was moving was never dreamed of by aircraft of 20th century invention.
Thank you for the red arrow, bro. Without it, I wouldn't be able to see, man.
Modern helicopter could not keep up with it. You can also cite the government's secret experiments. They have the money to do it, after all.
For sure.
But is it so hard to reconcile with the assumption that there is other life beyond Earth? Imagine you're driving down the highway at high speed and an obscure cylindrical-shaped object flies parallel to you in the sky. It turns out you're rushing in the same direction. This is exactly what happened in 2020 in Florida, and it's safe to say that most people didn't even know what was going on around them.
I feel like I've seen this clip. This seems genuine. This seems genuine.
Remember, at the time, many were on lockdown in their homes. That's why the story was not taken seriously. One comment about the blimp and the same flat jokes, zero, that's all that the clip was rewarded with on the net. And if you imagine the scale of the incident, while you and I were sitting in apartments during the pandemic, the crowds of UFOs were moving freely across our expanses.
Yeah.
In 2022, residents of Pakistan noticed something
Yo, I'm from Pakistan actually, so I'm from Lahore, so Islamabad, that's okay.
Black in the sky above Islamabad. The mysterious object was caught on cameras by several dozen eyewitnesses.
That's crazy.
For 13 minutes, the UFO hovered in the air and was clearly recognizable as a dark flying object shaped like a truffle.
It's crazy because, yo, shout out to you, thank you for subscribing. It's crazy because usually they just show up in Russia, China, and US, right? That's how it feels like anyways, right?
Most people were sure that it was not a drone because it would not have been possible for the device to stay at such an altitude for long.
Thank you for the red arrow.
Looking at the enlarged image, we can state that the UFO had a triangular shape. And also intuition. As soon as there were too many witnesses, the object simply disappeared from view.
Yeah, I feel shy. I'm gonna peace out. I don't wanna show myself to too many people. Yeah, crazy. Guys, real quick, I wanna say, if you do use Instagram, I would definitely love to have you there. Link is always in the pinned comment. Alright, let's get back to the content here, boo-boo. Just a way to connect, you know what I mean, guys? Thank you for the red arrow. Thank you for the red arrow.
A team of pilots aboard a small airplane recorded a mysterious white ball.
No, here's the thing though. I actually heard there were headlines that like a pilot in Pakistan actually recorded a video of a UFO, and that did go viral. I remember that from memory, and I think the reason I'm bringing this up is because I think that story was legit, because that story made like news headlines and I saw that. So I'm not sure if that's the exact same video or not. Let's find out.
Ball. It could have been mistaken for the moon, but the bright object was moving, and quite fast. It is difficult to estimate its trajectory, but in front of us is clearly not a celestial luminary, and the movement of an incomprehensible luminous point. Something to ponder.
Crazy.
Is it just me? Or did something fly past a flotilla of military aircraft? Let's repeat it as many times as necessary to make sure, yes, there is a foreign flying object.
Crazy.
This incident...
Is that's not AC-130, but it looks similar. That's not AC-130, so you got fighter jets there, that's something else. And then you see like a UFO there. UFO is like, hey, that quick? Let me actually show you what fast means, okay?
And happened during the annual Fleet Week in the USAF, when the jets were doing a demonstration flight. A split second, and the light disc that flew between them might have gone unnoticed if it weren't for the cameras recording the show. Just consider how fast the planes were going, and then you'll be puzzled as to how some unidentified object flew a fly among them. How did it calculate its trajectory at that speed? You can repeat this video over and over again until your brain stops refusing to believe. There are much faster ships in the universe than Earth fighters. What if they are extraterrestrial hawks? The main thing is that their targets should not be turned against the Earthlings.
Yeah, sorry guys, not that fast enough, man. Sorry guys. Coming through, guys, coming through.
This UFO was caught on camera somewhere in Russia and attracted a lot of attention on the internet. At first, most skeptical people wrote it off as a drone.
Fake.
Allegedly, someone decided to make it look like a UFO and dressed it up with a special design. But the more we see, the clearer it becomes that the design contains no propellers or other engines. What does it actually fly on then? Plus, the object is critically low to the ground and behaves as if it's struggling to stay airborne. And this is happening in broad daylight. What if the UFO was damaged and on the verge of crashing? There's no ending to the video. This strange creature was flying over Brazil and was caught on camera by an eyewitness. It looks like a figure in a suit with a jetpack, but we would have been speculating for a long time if the following hadn't happened.
It looks like a tooth that is on a 90-degree angled resting place or resting position. Looks like a tooth, right?
Suddenly flames erupted and the creature or object disappeared lightning fast over the mountains. We are left to wonder what kind of miracle technique allows us to move in space like that.
Oh, crap.
And also, is it someone or something after all? The ring glowing in the hazy sky really does look like the bottom of a spaceship about to land, doesn't it? The footage is recorded in China. A man just went to get groceries and found a real threat to the planet in the sky. The giant halo hung in the sky for a long time, confusing the citizens. They hypothesized that this could be the appearance of an experimental secret airship or a meteorological phenomenon. But no explanation was never given in the media.
It's not a perfect circle, but even then, I don't think this would be like a natural occurring phenomena, right?
Do you think it's an optical illusion or the real outline of something unknown to us?
Drone show? Probably
Have you
not.
seen triangular clouds? I haven't, and neither did this man. He started recording video after he looked out of his window and saw this thing in the sky. Sticking out of the water like a shark fin, the triangular-shaped object was stuck in a cloud and hovering motionless. It was clear that it was neither a fog blob nor a banner in the air. Such outlines, by the way, and previously noticed in many places in the world. But so clear they were filmed for the first time. Could this be an alien station which is camouflaged in the clouds? If so,
bring in my entire alien station to you suckers! But now guys, it has been a pleasure. Definitely check out this video on the screen. This is the last episode that we've done. We had so many clips in this one. If you enjoyed this, you're gonna love this one. And I'll see you right there.